That's totally my bad. I forgot to unmute my microphone. Sorry about that. Thanks for letting me know. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, when I run the credits at the end of a live stream, I mute everything on my computer and my mic's end, so you don't have to hear that while the credits run. And, yeah, I forgot to switch that when we came back. Good morning. Good afternoon, good evening. Greetings. The contaminator trick works with fancy cave walls. They don't get broken if they're filling in a piece large in the blast radius of the explosion. Yeah, but I want them to get broken. The whole point is for them to get broken without dropping an item. So any wall will do, as long as I can convert it into a natural wall. Playing Terraria right now. Have fun. It's afternoon, but you're not out of bed. Hey, you do you. I can't do that, unfortunately. Like, I would love to just laze around in bed for a day, but if I do that, then my back starts getting achy and I feel, I don't know, restless, I guess. Hello. You're Iranian, nice. I'm American, obviously. Love the videos, thank you. It's 2 a.m. You should probably go to sleep. You can always catch the VOD later, of course. But this is why I'm trying out this stream schedule where every other day I do a morning stream for me and an evening stream for me, so that people on the other side of the world could at least have a couple days a week that they can catch a live stream. Big fan of the content, thank you. Had 69 people live in the live before you joined. Nice. So today we are going to be continuing the work that I started yesterday on the adventure map, which is detailing the landscape of the forest. And hopefully we'll also have enough time to get to the trees. The trees will be the last part of the forest. So we've got a lot of the landscaping done. I still want to do some more detail work in it. But as you can see here, we've made some solid progress with the landscaping. I'm going to do background wall sections today, more detail work on the ground, probably add some areas of grass and not grass. Do the waterfall feature over here, more background walls over here. And the big thing that I'm going to be doing today is working on this section over here, which will be the explosion that opens up the floor beneath you. So I'll be detailing the walls over here on both sides, and then we'll probably hop into T-Edit and just fill this in with the cracked brick. We'll make a copy of the world, a backup copy. So we'll have two versions. We'll give it one test to make sure everything detonates and it looks good. And then if it does, we'll move on to the next step. What are the colored blocks everywhere? So these are just mapping out the blast radius of all of these spots where explosives are going to be. The green stuff is where I need to build walls along the sides in order to make the area look detailed once the ground opens up and you fall down. The red stuff is what's going to be destroyed. All of these blocks right here. This red stuff, it's just marking out where the trigger of the whole ground falling is going to be. So essentially what's going to happen is you're going to try to jump onto these. This whole area is going to end up breaking, and it's going to trigger the entire floor down here, which won't look like a giant pit. It'll look like just a floor. That's going to cave in, and you're going to fall down. The other red spots that we see were just from when I was mapping out the parkour of this area. I started with a wireframe a couple of days ago. Made sure that I could parkour everywhere. And then I've been slowly converting all of the red slime blocks into these blocks. The stuff that's not converted, like this, I'm going to have parkour platforms here. I just need to figure out how I'm going to handle them. Most likely they're going to be trees. So that's what all of this stuff is. The reason I have it in very brightly colored blocks is so that I can easily see it and know that I still need to work on that area and not just forget about it and skip over it. This green one here is just to indicate that I want to have a tree here to block your forward progress, to make you guys go down here, so you have to parkour your way up. Same spot as yesterday. Yeah, I've done nothing else on this map. I'm most likely going to do the entirety of this map on Livestream over the next couple of months. I might do some things in T-Edit off camera, but not much. Best Terraria mod? Wrong person to ask. You'd probably be better off asking that question to Chippy, because I do not play modded Terraria. I'll be checking it out eventually, but as of right now, I have very little to no experience with it. Also, this will be a bonus area that if you manage to make this jump over here, like you'll have to jump on the cracked brick and then jump again before you fall down. If you manage to do that, there will be a little reward chest over here. But since you'll be able to walk all the way over here, I do need to make sure that this area gets cleaned up as well. So we'll want to bring blocks out to probably about here. And we'll just mark this off with some sticky dirt bombs. I think that ought to be fine. That's probably more than we need. And here, you can see the little grasshopper is exactly why I like to break the tall grass before I start dirt bombing things. Best block in Terraria? You'll have to wait. I'm making a whole video on that. It's an absolute ton of work. I'm still working on it. But you'll have to wait for that. Continuing our conversation before what other NPCs would jaywalk. Look, as long as the guy dies, I don't care. Playing Cookie Clicker, but Terraria is better. I would say Terraria is definitely a little bit more engaging than Cookie Clicker, yeah. Yeah, I haven't been consistent with live streaming in the past, but I would like to become consistent with it. And since I've decided that I'm no longer going to stream on Twitch, just because I'm not really happy with Twitch in general, and I'm going to be doing it on YouTube, I think it might be the time to start streaming more consistently. Okay, so from here, full zoom out, looks good, no light bleed from the other side of that. So that's as far as that's going to need to go. The only reason I have that open up right now is because I need to be able to get down here. But this will be filled in eventually as well. Alright, so let's start detailing the cliff faces. If you're wondering why I don't have any materials, it's because I've been working on some other projects on the side in between, and I use the same character for both of them. And I clear my inventory so that I don't get everything jumbled up and you guys don't get spoilers as to what I'm working on. That ought to do it for now. I'm definitely looking forward to echo coating. I've been asking for echo paint for many years now, so I will probably be using echo paint in every single build from here on out in some way or another. It might just be tiny things here and there, but I will probably be using it in everything. So the reason why all of this is marked out is because this is exactly the distance that the explosion is going to be reaching. Now what I need to test is that if I have walls here, that the walls will actually break. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be using a technique to convert walls to natural walls using the contaminator. I should probably be doing that first before I do the sandstone, because the sandstone could get converted. So let's do those walls first. It doesn't matter what walls, you won't be seeing them. They're just to block out light. I just want them to be destroyed. I also need to test out if the explosions will actually reach. I think they do, because I think walls, they hit walls a little bit further than they hit blocks, if I remember correctly. Contaminator. Forgot the T. Oh. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Let's do green solution, I guess. We'll convert crimson grass walls into normal grass walls. And let's go ahead and switch all of these back to slime, because those will get contaminated, and I don't want that to happen. You were watching my videos before I started streaming? Well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed them. Found them useful. Alright, I think that's... should be good to go. Grab a little more anyway. This adventure map is set on the constant world seed, so the Don't Starve Together crossover update. So the whole purpose of this adventure map is going to be surviving the darkness, because on this world seed, you take damage from the shadows. So it's going to be a parkour adventure map where you have to avoid shadows, essentially. Alright, so I'm just going to place a few of these on either side, wherever a corner piece might be. And I'll test the explosions, and we'll make sure that these actually get broken. I think that ought to do it. They do, so that's perfect. We'll be able to block off all of the light that's going to be in here. So if you're wondering what I'm talking about, this entire area is going to be filled in with blocks. Specifically, it's going to be filled in with cracked brick. But while it's filled in, we're going to have areas of it that are going to be sloped like this. As you can see, that lets in a whole bunch of light, but if we have a background wall in there, it doesn't let that light in. So that'll allow us to make this area look nice and smooth, without sacrificing the appearance with light. So what I'm going to do is slope everything out now, and then place the background walls wherever I need to. Then, since they are crimson grass walls, I will be using the contaminator to turn them into natural grass walls. And if you don't know what this, I don't know if I would call it a bug, a feature, exploit, I don't know what. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't want these walls to drop from the explosion. So if you see, if I grab a hammer and I hit these walls, it drops as an item. But if I were to... Oh, can I not go red to green? Okay, that's good to know. Glad I didn't waste time doing that. Let's do green to red then. We'll grab grass walls and we'll grab red solution. So that right there tells me this is probably a bug. Actually, did I have that right? Yeah, I did. It probably tells me that's a bug, right? Because it doesn't make much sense if it doesn't work both ways. Anyway, I'm going to call this a bug. We're going with it. The contaminator will change these placed green walls into whatever solution that I'm using. And when it does that, it actually converts them into a natural wall. So you can see I break them and nothing drops. Enemies could spawn in front of these, whereas enemies could not spawn in front of these. So that's how I'm going to be getting the walls in there to block darkness, but not have them drop whenever the explosions happen. Good evening, sus. What paint do I use for rust? Orange paint, but it depends on what materials that you're using with it. Some materials look better with the orange paint than others do. Rust is kind of a hard appearance to pull off in Terraria. If I remember correctly, we could take a look real quick. Let's grab some orange paint here. And I think iron brick, or maybe it was lead brick. We'll grab both. I think one of those looks pretty good as a rust block when painted orange. Let's find out though. So there's the lead. That looks fairly rusted to me. Iron brick is also not too bad. We could try some other ones. See if we can get a closer to rust appearance. I don't really build rust fairly often. I've tried it a couple of times. Tin, not so much. I feel like the lead looks the best so far. Let's see. What else might look good? I'm just going through a block list in my head, essentially, thinking what might actually look good with some orange paint on it. What time is it for me? It's 9:26 in the morning. Is it kind of cheesy that since you can't find a lot of stuff in your large world, you make small worlds and farm them for a bit? Nah, absolutely not. I mean, in general, you can't get everything in a single Terraria world anyway. If you want to have a character that has everything unlocked, you have to visit multiple worlds. So I don't see anything wrong with that whatsoever. I live in the United States. Been a while. Have you been? I have been doing all right. Thanks for asking. You know, plating... I don't think the platings look too good as rust, but let's take a peek. It's close, but not quite there. And then obviously that would be like a really heavy rust. I still think that the lead brick is the best option there, though. That just looks like a brick that's been well rusted. I don't know. That's my attempt there. Hellstone. Maybe the issue with Hellstone is if you're just trying to make a build that's rusted, you're going to have sparks flying off of the Hellstone brick. Also, that's not a very appealing color, but the sparks are the main reason why I would never use that in that instance anyway, unless the sparks make sense for the build. $6 p.m. in Germany. Hey, I would love to visit Germany. That sounds like a great area to vacation. Alright, back to just sloping everything out. There's one thing that is kind of unfortunate. Actually, no. Well, maybe? Okay, maybe. I was thinking I would like to have this so that players can't land on this stuff over here, you know? Land safely and then fall down slowly. They're not going to take fall damage because everybody's going to be wearing a lucky horseshoe anyway. But I would like it so that players can't land on this. And I was thinking, how do I accomplish that? If I put Echo Block in here to just create a tunnel that they can fall down but can't hit the sides, the Echo Block will be destroyed by the explosives. But if this adventure map comes out after 1.4.4, then I could just use dungeon brick to coat the sides and paint them Echo afterwards. I think that's what I'm gonna do, actually. So just so I remember to do it later, I'm going to grab deep, whatever, I like deep green, I guess. Dungeon brick. Let's just, I guess it doesn't matter. Green brick is fine. And because of how the explosions in Terraria work, this shouldn't affect the anything on the other side getting destroyed. My biggest concern is that, you know, we'll start it down here. Because I don't want players to see this. And behind that, we'll have background walls that also get destroyed so that it doesn't let light through. Yeah, I think that's going to work best. You know what? I don't need to do this now because I'll remember it. There's no way I'll forget that. So right now we're working on an adventure map. Doing some small detail work to it. We made a parkour area in this adventure map right here that's going to be a forest. We started the landscaping of it yesterday. I'm continuing that today. I am streaming. There won't be any boss fights in this map. There won't be any monsters at all. The entire purpose of this map is that you are going to be avoiding shadows. Can you join the adventure map? Once the adventure map is complete, which may be a couple of months from now, but once it's complete, it will be available for download. Oops. You could try lining it with lizard brick. It won't blend with the... Oh, no, that's not going to be a problem because these walls are going to be made out of sandstone, and sandstone block does not blend with dungeon brick at all. So that's not going to be a concern whatsoever. The only reason they are slime at the moment is because I'm going to be going through here and placing these grass walls in so that they can hide the light once this area is filled in with blocks. So, for example, you know, I'm going to unslope this one, I think, and slope that one. Okay, so for example, anywhere there's a slope, there, or a half block, like there, these are all going into place. And then I'm going to take the Contaminator, and I'm going to convert these. We'll have to replace that block, not a big deal. Convert those into crimson grass. And when they do that, they become natural blocks, so that way when the explosion breaks them, they don't drop an item. And once I have all of these in place, and I've converted them to the appropriate type, then I will start swapping this out for sandstone. So that's the only reason why we've got slime in here for now. Okay. And then I think what I'm going to do is hop into T-Edit and place the cracked dungeon brick in here real quick. And then we'll give this a test and see how it looks. Got to be careful of that range. I don't want to convert any of the blocks over there. I don't think I did. I did. I'll have to go fix that. Green solution. That's okay. I was kind of reckless with that. Just make sure to go fix it again on the other side. Actually, it doesn't really matter. There's still natural walls. So actually, I could just go through here once again and just make sure that I don't have any crimson hiding here. Those are still natural grass walls at this point, so it doesn't much matter. They'll still serve the same purpose, whatever color they are. What blocks do I use for rocky terrain like this? It's a combination of stone, gray painted sand, and gray painted sandstone. The only issue with stuff like this is you have to be careful about how much you're using it so that you don't convert the area into a desert. Unless you want to, which is your prerogative. Alright, let's start swapping out all of these walls and making them look good. Gray paint would help. I don't think we want to have red walls during the fall. Why do I want the tunnel to explode? That's because I want it to be somewhat of a jump scare. Anybody that's watching the live stream won't be surprised by this. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it goes. If you're going to watch me make an adventure map, you're going to see spoilers. But when they try to make this jump, it's going to detonate and the ground below them will collapse. And they'll fall and fall and fall. And that's kind of the whole point. I don't want it to be obvious that there's a giant pit in the ground here. Sandstone painted gray is the best block in Terraria. Prove me wrong. Headed out. All right. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a good day. Starplate isn't a block. Unless you mean sunplate? Or do you mean starry block? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if I have actually made any tutorials on building trees before, but I would definitely recommend checking out Cheesy Panini's tree tutorials. So her channel would be youtube.com/cheesypanini. She's got some very interesting tree tutorial videos. I feel like she makes better trees than I do anyway. I'm gonna have to hard disagree with you on the sunplate block being the best block. I've used it a couple of times. It's very niche. I have not had much luck making it look all that great. Alright, so now I'm just gonna thicken up the sandstone a little bit, and then behind that we'll do a layer of gray painted sand, and then behind that a layer of stone, and then the cliff walls will look quite nice. And we could hop into T-Edit and place the cracked brick, make a backup of the world save, give it a test, and make sure that it works. Rainbow bricks are better. Ugh. I honestly wouldn't mind rainbow bricks if there was a way of painting the color effect. Like if you painted the block, it would still cycle through a gradient of colors, but that gradient of colors would shift depending on what blocks you're painting. In which case, that might actually become one of my favorite blocks. But that's not how it works. You can't really paint I don't know what you would call it, like the mask of a block for blocks that have masking like that. So if you have like Martian conduit plating, for example, and you paint the Martian conduit plating, it won't change the color of the glow effect that happens from it. Stuff like that. That ought to do, so let's switch to sand. Eh? Why are you not blending? Oh, there you go. That was weird. Copper plating is very good. It's one of my go-to for steampunk or sci-fi builds, or any time that I need a metallic material that doesn't blend with others. Although I really do like iron brick. The unfortunate thing about iron brick is that it blends with a lot of blocks, which is sometimes good, sometimes bad. Favorite monster that annoys you while building? Well, if it's a favorite, then it's not really annoying me, is it? The one thing that I had an issue with it a lot during Terracore. I think these blocks don't get destroyed, right? One thing that I had happen a lot in Terracore was King Slime. So I think he's definitely on my annoy me while building list. I can't even remember how many King Slimes I had to fight while building my base in Terracore. Demon Eyes are not so much a problem for me at night because I don't usually build at night. I like to see what I'm doing in the daytime. Blood moons are very annoying for night times. Yeah, in general. I very much find annoyance from them. I believe if I slope that, those will blend. Yeah. Alright, so now we'll do a layer of stone behind the sand. So that way it doesn't make it look like these cliff walls are made out of dirt, which makes no sense. Why are you using, or what block am I using to connect to the dirt? It's sandstone on the outside, which doesn't blend with much, followed by sand, which is one of the materials that does blend with sandstone. Both of those are painted gray. And then it's, meant to be unpainted. Unpainted stone next to the sand, and that's what gives a clean, smooth blend with the dirt. Sarcasm not intended. Thank you so much for the 1991. What a meme donation. I'm loving the stream so far. I'm excited to play this map when it's done. Thank you very much. I hope you don't have to wait too long for it. It's probably going to be at least a month. I'm hoping not much longer than that, because I would love to work on another project for Halloween. But if this map isn't done by Halloween, I'll definitely be focusing on this map to get it done. Thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. And if you guys are like, oh, the map is ugly, don't worry. None of that will be visible to your new players. It would be nice if there was a way to easily, simply, in-game, clear your player map. I know you could just go into your player's save folder and delete. I think it's the folder with your player's name on it. But, Alright, same thing, other side. Building in the jungle gives you PTSD because of the turtles. Yeah, building in the jungle in hard mode is quite a pain. Also, the man-eaters and all that in the jungle are annoying, and yeah, I understand that. I also had that problem with my Terracore map because not only was I building on the ocean at the edge of the world, so I was getting king slimes and Martian invasions and all of that fun stuff, but I was using a lot of jungle grass, so I was getting the jungle enemies too. I had the worst of both worlds. It was fun. I liked that pontoon. I think it was a nice little build. What do you guys think I should do for Terracore Season 2, base-wise? I don't really want to do another, like, pontoon kind of thing. I'm not sure. I'm thinking something sci-fi or techie, but I'm open to suggestions if you guys have any. Do I enjoy smaller builds or larger builds? I enjoy a build that's, how to say this, small enough for detail. Okay, when it comes to build projects, I'm trying to think of the best way to answer this question. I like a large-scale landscaping project like this, because no matter where you look, you're going to see beauty. That looks good. That, you know, I mean, you'll see things that look, maybe not right now. Once it's done, it'll look good, right? But as far as a massive structure, if I can't see the entirety of the structure in one screen and just take it in and be like, yeah, I like that, and in one screen, then I'd rather have it be smaller. I'd like to see the entire structure in one screen. Unless it's something like a castle that you could segment off, like, oh, this tower looks good. Oh, we go over here. Oh, that tower looks good. But something like a skyscraper, and it would just look like a box here, and then you have to go up, then it's another box there, and then you go up, and then you get the top of it. Less impressive to me. So, in instances like of modern stuff like that, I like smaller builds. If I'm doing a larger build, I like to make it in pods or segments or broken up things where you could appreciate the entirety of the smaller section of the build one screen at a time. What are all the gadgets I use? We can go through that. I wear a soaring insignia. I use the solar wings. I have a toolbox which increases the block placement and tool range by 1. We have the 2 belt that also increases range by 1. We also have the architect gizmo pack. Normally, if I'm not using Spectre goggles, I'm also wearing an ancient chisel. And we use the treasure magnet. You don't need to use the extendo grip or any of the tools that go into the architect gizmo pack because they do not stack. So any tools that go into the architect gizmo pack, there's no point to wearing them if you have an architect gizmo pack. Well, you guys will watch me build a pine tree in this forest, so you'll probably end up seeing one eventually. I don't know if I'll make a tutorial video on it, though. I don't think my pine trees are the best, or anything like that. I want these to stand out in T-edit, so I'm going to paint them deep green. I'm also thinking about how I want to handle this part right here. So I would like... We discussed this a little bit yesterday, where these red blocks would end up being silt, so that you could walk on top of them without breaking the cracked bricks beneath them. And when those break, these will just fall down and end up in whatever spot they land in, which will be fine, except, now that I'm thinking about it, if I have the echo painted blocks here keeping you from falling, that's 2 areas that the silt won't be able to fall. I don't think that's too big of an issue though. If it's just 2 areas, like say this spot right here, and where would it be here? Furthest right here. Oh, that won't even have silt in it. So it's just 1 spot. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. I could put cracked brick in that 1 spot, and if it crumbles, it's not a big deal. Yeah, we'll go with that. Like the dwarf mine idea. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Other than your current dye, what is my favorite dye? I think... probably... the... What's it called? The Grim dye. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Grim dye. I really like Grim dye. I think that's probably my favorite dye, other than the ones that I'm currently wearing. Rock and stone. Cheesy Panini makes good trees if you want to check out her tree videos. Currently, your pine trees may only be pine, but one day they may be fine. Truer words were never spoken. Alright, let's grab some cracked brick again. Gray paint. That switch is gone. And we'll put these here. I should be painting them. I'm going to test these out with paint and try to get them as close to the sandstone as possible. I might require some white paint. We'll try the other cracked bricks too. That's brighter, not what I'm hoping for. That's even brighter, but maybe with gray in that instance. Too dark. Okay, so we're going with green cracked brick, white paint is the closest that it looks like I can get to that, which is just fine with me. Do it like this. Then we'll grab some stone. Those will blend together like that. And then we'll grab some sand and blend those in with the sandstone. And then once I slope that right there, slope, slope, that ought to do. Which means I don't need that anymore. As long as I don't land up here accidentally. Orange pressure plate. Slap that right there. Make sure that I remember to wire it up so we don't have repeats of yesterday. Cheesy's doing well, I think. She seems to be doing well. I can't speak for the inner machinations of her mind, however. Alright, so down here, let's grab some more gray paint. Because we're running low. And we'll do the pink dungeon brick right here. And then on top of that, we'll have the silt. Oh, they do not blend. That's kind of unfortunate. I was assuming they would blend. I'll try some other gravity blocks and see if they blend. No, I won't. Because I can't have them painted once they fall. So when they fall, they're going to look like this. And I want it to look like stone. I think I'm just going to have to live with it, to be honest. I don't know if there's going to be any other solution to that. There is another solution. No. Yet, no. I was thinking maybe if I do echo coding on top of this once the update comes out, and that's what prevents you from breaking that. But then you're going to look like you're floating on the air, so I'm not sure. You just joined. What is this? This is an adventure map that I'm working on. I'm going to turn the music down a little bit. I can barely hear myself think. This is an adventure map that I've been working on for the past few days. And it's set in the constant world seed, so the Don't Starve Together crossover update world seed. Really? Are those my two choices? Super quiet? Oh, there we go. A little bit quieter. And in this world seed, you have to deal with hunger, but that's not the main focus of the map. You take damage from being in shadows. So this this adventure map is going to be you having to avoid the shadows. So far, we have... Let's head back to spawn over here. We have a starting village. We'll take the Spectre goggles off. And you'll be starting off in this building right here. You're going to be a butcher. And you're trying to make a delivery of steak or something else. And you're going to head over here and you're going to find out from the mechanic that you can't go further in this direction because it's unsafe. They're working on repairing the clock tower. You'll probably have to go through the forest and work your way to another way to make your delivery. So you go through the lumber mill. You go through the start of the forest. Obviously, there's no forest here just yet because I haven't built the trees. That's what we're currently working on. But you're going to parkour your way up here. You're going to go through here, up here, etc. All of this will look like trees and stuff once we're done. But once you're done parkouring, you're going to end up coming across this area here. And you're going to try to make this final jump. And when you land on this spot, which is the only spot you can reach, the floor will bottom out and you're going to fall and fall and fall until you reach an area that's a deep, dark area of the forest. It's going to be in this thicket. It's going to be dark and spooky. And the further you get into it, the darker it gets. And then you're going to be abducted by these shadow gods that take you to a shadow realm that you have to try and escape from and get back to the light. So that's kind of the whole theme of this adventure map. You believe that in 1.4.4 blocks that are affected by gravity will keep the paint applied to them? I have not seen that anywhere, but if that's true, that'd be very cool. Do you have a link to a tweet or a Reddit post from Redigit that confirms that? If you do, tag me on Twitter. Tweet it at me. I'd like to see it. I haven't seen that one. If it does, so then it's possible we can get another material in here that might blend. Maybe sand would blend. Sand does blend. So if that's the case, then we could do gray painted sand. But if it's not the case, I don't want the sand to fall down and then end up looking like that on the bottom, because it would just look weird and out of place. For now, we're going to keep it as silt, however. You missed this, man. Missed you too. I haven't been watching Chippy's spoiler videos because I don't want to spoil too much myself, so I might have just missed that one. Alright, I'm just testing that these corner bits can't break from me walking back and forth. They don't seem to be able to. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to save and exit. We're going to switch to this and switch to that. We're going to open up the adventure map. As you can see, I did prepare this area in T-Edit. There was a desert here at one point. Okay, so let's grab this block, and we don't need any walls. We want the paint turned on, and we're going to fill this in, and then in any spot where we have the explosives, we're going to delete that. Oops. So we have space for the explosives, and now that those spaces are cleared out, we can replace the dungeon brick with cracked bricks so that you could fall down cleanly without taking any or without stopping. You won't take damage because we won't have fall damage in this adventure map. Yep, that's looking good. So now let's grab the explosives, which we're gonna have to do via special. Oh no, sprites. It's gonna take a second to load. Explosives, and we're gonna place one in each of these holes. And then all of these explosives are not going to block light, so we're going to need a background wall behind them. So we're going to grab that wall. We are going to keep the gray tile paint on. So we're painting the explosive and placing a background wall at the same time. In fact, I should probably paint the background walls as well. So let's do, I think white paint would be best here. And we're going to go ahead and paint these. It doesn't look like it in T-Edit, but trust me, they're painted. Another reason why I don't prefer building in T-Edit, I just like to use it as a time saver tool when I can. But I see things in-game how they're actually going to look, and it doesn't appear to be that way in T-Edit. Okay, so that should be good. So we're going to save this. And then we're going to save it again, but we're going to rename this to test file save as Nyctophobia test. And we're going to test this explosion out and see how that goes. So we'll switch back to Terraria. Hop in game. Oh. Wrong map. I don't want to test it on that one. Force of habit. Alright, test. We're in the test world now. You made it to one of my streams. Welcome. Glad you can make it. I don't think I'm gonna have a desert placed. It's a lot of blocks to make a desert. Why did these ones not break? It almost worked perfectly. Very nearly almost worked perfectly. But why did this not break? Did I wire them? I believe I did. They are wired. Let's check T-edit. So we'll switch back to T-edit. Make sure I actually put the explosives in there. I did. I wonder if there's a range that explosives can work in. I've not tested with long distance explosions before. Hold on, we're gonna save this again. I'll need to exit this first. So, Nyctophobia test, save, replace it. They weren't within view. I didn't think explosions had to be within view. That's unfortunate. Highly unfortunate. Because people play at different zooms. Some people will play zoomed in, some people will play zoomed out. And I'm going to have to design this around people that have zoomed out, but it will break if you're playing zoomed in. I'm going to have to think this one through a little bit further, I think. That's an unfortunate thing. We'll give it another test with me zoomed out and see what that looks like. So, oh no, I was zoomed out for that test, I think. Well, we'll test it again. I'm zoomed out now. Alright, so first of all... Okay, well... See, what I don't understand is it's breaking these blocks here. Oh no, you know, that's probably the blocks from up above breaking it. Okay, at what point does it do it? At this lip. Alright, let me switch over to T-edit. Let's see if we could find the exact point where it stops breaking them. It would be right here. So at this point, if I were to just get rid of the tiles, I'm curious what that would look like. If I'd be able to see the light or not. So we'll save as test again. And then we'll swap over. I forgot to... I'm gonna have to save it twice. That's fine. Forgot to save and exit first. I'm just saving T-edit. You can't see it at the moment, but you could trust me. That's all I'm doing. Alright, let's head back in. Let's see if we could see that light. If we can't see that light, then I'm not worried about it. If we can, then I'm going to have to think of another solution. Well, if the explosion has to do with your position, then I don't see how wiring it so it explodes from the bottom up makes any sense. Because you're going to be triggering it down here no matter what. I can't see the light. A little bit. A tiny bit down there. What about here, though? Oh, no. That's not good at all. Alright, so that's a problem. A problem that I need to solution. No, that wouldn't work. I know the explosions are going off, they're just not destroying enough blocks. Do you think that's a problem, that we're reaching the maximum number of destroyed blocks? if that's the case, it could be a fairly simple solution, maybe. Let's switch back over to T-Edit. And in that case, let's test it out like this, where, I don't know, from this point on, we won't have any blocks. So we'll get rid of those. I do need a block. Oops. Want that. Do need a block under each one of these still. And instead, if I fill this in with walls, then maybe, because if it's counting the number of tiles that it's destroying, and I reduce the number of tiles, that wouldn't really reduce it though, because background walls, unless they're counted separately. We'll test it one way or the other. We'll see what this does. You know what? Let's just save a little bit of time and do it like this. Alright, let's see what this does. It'll probably do the same thing. I don't want to use actuators, because actuators, actuated blocks are still visible. They don't become suddenly invisible. I don't want any blocks there at all. I want it gone. Completely gone. Alright. Let's just see. That actually worked. Except for those two spots right there, but that shouldn't be a problem. But that actually worked. I think that just might be the solution. It must count blocks and walls separately. So yeah, we're gonna go with that. You see, the problem with me using echo coding is that I'm going to be using other things with echo coding, like the tunnel over here. So if I make the tunnel suddenly disappear, that means the invisible walls that I'm going to be using will be visible until I make them invisible. So it's not really a solution in that regards. Assuming how echo coding works. Because I will be using echo coded stuff in this tunnel fall itself. Alright, I think that's going to work though. I think that is the solution. So just head over to T-Edit one more time and do the same thing. Save and exit. T-Edit. So what I'm going to do to just save myself a little bit of time is just grab this, copy it. I probably need to add more wall down there, but it doesn't much matter. Open the non-test version, and we'll just paste this in right here. And then put these walls in here, just to make sure that we don't have any light bleeding through. And then we'll save it, and then once again we'll do a test just to make sure, since I added new blocks anyway. Alright, back to Terraria. Hello! The building's going well, just doing some problem solving right now. That's the, I think it's the fun part about making adventure maps, is problem solving stuff like this. Okay, so first of all, I could head down here. There's some light, but I could probably do something to hide out that last section anyway, because we want it to get dark. So this will be where the thicket starts. And that's funny. Apparently that's the boundary that switches the two walls. Not a big deal. You won't see that actually happening in game. Because you won't be able to go that far left. But I'll have the thicket start here. So all of that will get darkened anyway. That's fine. Let's test it to make sure that it opens up the whole area. Good to go. I do need to remember to break these two walls somehow. You know what? Maybe I don't. Maybe I'll just end up swapping these out for something like worn stone wall painted gray. Since they're not getting destroyed anyway, those would look white. Maybe white. And they'll just look like a little bit of rock anyway. It's not a big deal at all. Okay. I am happy with that. We have it. We've got it figured out. So we can get rid of the... we'll just keep it around. In case I need to test something later. I am doing alright. Thanks for asking. When's the map get released? When it's finished. I don't have a end date. I don't know how long it'll take to make. Problem solving is fun until you run out of ideas. I think that depends. Like, getting around the running out of ideas part's kind of what makes problem solving fun to me. Like, you run out of ideas, then you take a break. And usually, for me, it's during that break time that new ideas come. Or then you talk about it with friends or co-workers or whatever you're currently dealing with. And that also helps. Okay, so let's do the thicket area down here. I don't want to start the thicket too much. I mean, I don't want to go too far into it because that's getting ahead of myself. I need to finish the forest. I just want to start the transition here so that I remember what I'm currently doing. Or maybe I don't even need to do that because I doubt this is something I'll forget. You know what? I think I will leave it at this for now. And we'll move on to that later. This is looking pretty good. I'm not very happy with this. Let's see. Let's grab some... Hello? Why is it not letting me grab my paint? That was weird. It was not taking my inputs there. I'm gonna have to paint that grass wall because you can see it, and that grass wall for the same reason. Oh, you know what? I don't want to be using these walls here. Let's grab this grass wall, put this in here, and then we'll do the same conversion technique with this. We're just filling in this area with the gaps. Alright, so red solution and then green solution. I think I still have the green solution on me. If I don't, it's not a big deal. I can easily get a hold of it. I don't see it, so we're just going to grab it. Green solution. So first we're going to convert all of these walls to crimson. And then we're going to convert them back. And now they become naturally placed walls because of Terraria jank magic. Unfortunately, the explosives are kind of visible here, but I don't think there's much I can do about that. Can you play this on console? As long as the console version matches the Terraria version that this is built in, yes. Gonna have to do that again right there, I think. Why is it that... Oh no! I'll fix that. Not a big deal. Why is it that it seems like the red solution reaches further than the green solution does? Just making sure I got rid of all of the crimson in here. Looks like I did. Alright, let's replace this cracked brick and this explosive that I accidentally broke. Explosives right there. The silicone duck, thank you so much for the 1069. Hello, buddy. Hello. Thank you very much for the donation. I really do appreciate it. It helps out a lot. I can shadow paint to make the explosives not show up, but then the, oh, you know what? I don't need to worry about that because I can just echo coat the explosives when the time comes and hide it that way. My number one favorite wood for building. I don't know, that varies drastically on the theme of the build that I'm working on. I'd say in general, I probably use rich mahogany more than any other wood. But living wood's also very good. Bamboo is also very, very good. Large bamboo, in particular. And I use dynasty wood a fair bit too. But I think rich mahogany is probably one of my most used. Spooky wood is also very good. I don't know. It depends on what I'm doing with the build. Like, they each have their different uses. I'm gonna just do this for now. And then I'll check into that video that you'd mentioned with Chippy and see if that changes anything. If I do that, however, I'm gonna want to white paint these bricks and probably go with the... Oh, that is the darker of the bricks, isn't it? No, it's not. That was pink. I'll probably want to swap these out. I think I made a mistake, chat. I forgot that the crumble of crumbling crumbles. You know what? We'll fix this in T-edit. That's what we're gonna do. See, another thing that I use T-edit for is fixing mistakes quicker than I would in game. Alright, so we'll get rid of this word test right there. We're going to swap with gray paint. We're going to swap out this silt for sand. T-edit is so slow keeping up with my typing. I cannot type fast with it. I gotta keep that in mind. Correct. Green brick, white paint. Did these actually get painted? They did not. I thought I selected gray paint, but apparently I didn't. There we go. Alright, white paint, gray paint, green brick, sand. Should be good to go. Let's go ahead and save this. and switch on back to Terraria. I don't have a PlayStation, so I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure both Xbox and PlayStation are currently in 1.4. Terraria needs an undo hotkey. That's what T-Edit's for. As long as you make backup saves. I gotta remember to... okay. If you guys are wondering why my UI is suddenly incredibly tiny, it's because there's this extremely annoying thing about Terraria, where if you're playing on my specific resolution, I'm using a 4K monitor, so my resolution's 1380 by 2160. That's how small my UI is by default. As you can see, my user interface is at 200%, and that's how tiny this thing is. Let me set it to 100% and show you how small Terraria wants me to play this in, right? Let's set this, whatever, come on, 100%, let's go. Oh my god, 100%. That's how small Terraria wants this to be for me, right? So I set this up to 200, not enough. I mean, I could see everything here, fine, but people that are watching on mobile devices can't. So I always want to bump this up more. The only way that I can do this, unfortunately, is by going into the settings, the config settings for Terraria, and manually forcing it to 280% UI zoom. The unfortunate thing about that is randomly, completely at random, it decides to set it back down to 200% instead of leaving it at the 280% that I used, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I'm thinking about ways that I might also fix this brick. I'm not happy with the brick. I like it crumbling, but I don't like the way that it looks. I have some ideas for that. I do want to fix my resolution, however. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a be right back section. I'm going to exit Terraria out completely and alter my config real quick, and then we'll get back in because it's really annoying, to be perfectly honest. And I don't know why it changes my scale back to 200 at random. It only happens like once every week or two. Sometimes a couple times a week, but it's not consistent, and nothing that I seem to do can force it to happen. But we're good to go. Gonna reboot Terraria here. And here we are. Get back in game, make sure my resolution is good. It is. So let's go ahead and get rid of that be right back screen. And look, things are nice and viewable for you guys again. And as you can see in my settings, I'm now at 280% UI scale. It's nice that I could set that with configuration settings, but it kind of is not nice that it sets itself back completely at random. It's fast because I have to do this all the time and I'm very used to doing it. So let's see here. Let's do this in T-Edit because you can't block swap with cracked brick. And what I want to do is going to be definitely T-Edit worthy. So we'll swap over here, bring this back up. Let's load Nyctophobia. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab blue and pink cracked brick. And we're just going to try and blend these and get a little bit of variety to the materials. So it looks more like it's weakened stone than just a massive pile of cracked green brick. I assume these are going to blend together. I've never tested it. I've never had a reason to, but I'm going to assume that they blend. Despite T-Edit showing that they don't blend, T-Edit shows that the sand and sandstone and stone don't blend, but we all know that those do. So ignore T-Edit in this particular instance. Okay. I did a larger brush at first, a 3x3 circle brush. Now I'm going with just a single tool to get a little bit finer block variety in here. I'm just doing it at random, anywhere that it looks like we have too much of one color. It's not so much the color issue as it is a texture issue. I'm not happy with the texture of it. And then let's go ahead and grab this green and then break up some of these parts where we have too much pink and too much blue. It's probably good. We'll give that a test, see how it looks. Maybe just a little bit more out here on the edges. I didn't really do the edges very well. I'm trying not to cross into the explosives or into the sandstone, because obviously we don't want that. All right. Let's give that a save. Let's see what that looks like. They will break all the same anyway, so I'm not worried about testing it again. You're back. What'd you miss? A whole bunch of troubleshooting. Oh, look. My UI's tiny again. Thanks, Terraria. You're amazing. Woo. Yeah. I hate that. That is my least favorite part about all of this. The texture variation definitely helps, but it still stands out quite a lot. Thinking about it. Terraria Otherworld is completely canceled. That's never gonna happen. Oh, you missed me complaining about my Terraria UI scale resetting itself, and then it did it again immediately afterwards, so I guess you get to hear me complain about it again. It's so frustrating. What could I... Oh, you know what? You know what I can do? Let's go back into T-Edit again. And while I'm there, I might as well completely exit out of Terraria and just do my configuration again as well. But let's open up T-Edit here. Let's pull up the configuration. Oh, here, I guess you guys get to take a look at this as well. So we just open this configuration folder that's found in your My Games Terraria. You just got to config.json in here. And I just search for UI scale, and then I switch this 2.0 to 2.8. Then I save, and I hope it doesn't switch it back to me immediately afterwards. Okay, so back here, what we're going to do is we're going to take this sand here. We're just going to make... You know what? No, that's not a great idea, because then these explosives will drop sand block. Okay, never mind. Scratch that. I was going to make the sand thicker here, but I don't want it to drop sand block. We're leaving it. Excuse me, need some water. Yeah, I think we'll just leave it as is. Let's relaunch Terraria. And let's get back in game and see if I can make this look good. If it drops sand block, player can collect it with torches. Why do you think I would give a player a torch in an adventure map where they have to avoid the shadows? I think that would counter the whole point of the adventure map. I've never done any programming. No, I have zero programming knowledge or experience. So let's see. The explosives I'll make invisible with echo coding when 1.4 comes out. I don't know if there's any way I could just hide this and make it look good still. Unless I get rid of the first layers of explosives. This is going to require a backup save, so I'm just going to save a test. File, save as. You're not seeing any of this, but I'm temporarily in Tieta just to save a backup. Let's load that back up. Let's make the changes there. And let's see how they look. Waterfall will be after I figure out this problem. My brain's on this problem for now. I want to get this solved. I want it to look good. But if it looks like a giant pit of cracked brick, then people are going to know what's going to happen. So if we get rid of those, and then we make all of this sand, what I need to do in order to do that is save and exit again. Head into T-Edit. Sorry, you're not seeing any of this. Let me switch it over. Let's grab slime block, I guess. And we're just gonna fill it in here. So what I'm thinking about doing is getting rid of these 4 explosives, filling this area in with sand, and just having the sand fall and create the, or I guess silt at that point. Having the silt fall and create the floor that you'll be walking on in the next section. So in order to do that, I need to see exactly where the blast radius of these explosives will be so that I can map that out. So we're going to save as test. Switch it back to Terraria. And then set the detonation off and see exactly where it's at. What program is this? It's T-Edit. It's a third-party program created by Binary Construct. That's kind of like essentially it's like a Photoshop tool for Terraria. Alright, so we're going to swap this out with red and mark this off. Alright, so that's the blast radius. Did I not? I thought I did. Weird. Switch back to T-Edit. We're going to copy that section. So let's open this world. And copy just this part right here. open up our primary version of the adventure map, paste it into the same section. So there, we have the blast radius laid out. You know what? Before I do that, you know, let's copy that first. Paste this in, and then thinking about the most efficient way to do this. I just want the slime, the red slime. So let's grab this tool. No, I thought that would do it. All right, we're gonna have to do this by hand. All right. We don't need these walls or anything like that. We'll grab this right here. Do not paste empty tiles. Do not paste walls. Do not paste wires. And then we'll put that in right here. Eh? Oh, I do want tiles. I don't want empty tiles. I clicked the wrong box. Right there. Okay, so now we have these in place. We don't want explosives there. Now I could fill the rest of this area in with silt. We don't need paint. Looks like I forgot to actually do this. No paint. There we go. I think that should be good to go at that point. These blocks don't get destroyed, so that could be swapped out too. I think that's everything that I wanted to do there. Now, when this breaks, the silt should just fall down and land in various spots, and that will become our ground. So we're going to save this as... Oh, hold on. Let me make sure the world name is right. Yeah. All right. So we're going to save this and then add test. Save as test. Back to Terraria. All right, let's get caught up on chat. Sorry about that. I was kind of focused on that for a little bit there. Why YouTube streams don't show in YouTubers' channels? My streams are unlisted as VODs. The reason for that is because streams have their own algorithm and videos have their own algorithm. But when a stream is complete and it becomes a video on demand, it's treated as a video in the video algorithm, which impacts my channel negatively because the algorithm will see, oh, very few people watched this 3-hour-long video and they only watched for an average of 10 minutes per person. So we're going to punish this YouTuber because clearly nobody likes his videos. To get around that, I leave the VODs unlisted so they don't engage with the algorithm at all. But you guys could still watch them because they are in a public playlist. So if you want to see the stream VODs, head over to my channel. It's youtube.com/chaos. And then on that homepage, you'll see my playlists with the stream VODs in there. Yeah, YouTube algorithms, all sorts of weird. Alright, so we're just gonna do a quick look, see how it looks, and then we're gonna do a test fire and see what that looks like when everything falls. This definitely looks better than it did with the brick. So we hit this, it falls, and then eventually that will be our floor. I think that's gonna be totally fine. Then you just climb your way out. Heck, I could even carve out the floor in such a way, like, to mimic that and get it in such a way. Oh, it'd be opposite of what I'm doing here. But have it like lower down here, higher in the middle, and eventually get it set up in such a way that when these fall, it would be as flat as I want it to be. I'm not going to want it to be perfectly flat anyway, but nonetheless, you get what I'm saying. Essentially, I'll know exactly where these fall, and eventually I could set this up so it falls in a pattern that I want it to fall into. So that is a solution I'm happy with. These, kind of unfortunate, but they'll only be on screen for like 1 second as you fall. The earth is flat. Flat earthers. So funny. Alright, so that means we could... I'm going to switch to Tieta real quick. You won't be seeing this. Or maybe you can. It's not a big deal. We're going to open Nyctophobia. We're going to not view tiles here. And I want to get rid of the walls that will no longer be detonated. So these guys, get rid of that. These, I think these ones are here for a reason, but these ones are not. Maybe none of them are there for a reason. Should be good. So layers, show tiles again. Oh no, those are definitely there for a reason. You know what? That's fine. It's fine. We'll just get rid of these ones, since they'll be floating in midair. And then these walls, let's go ahead and switch them to some natural version of this stone wall. I don't know what they're called in Tieta. Tieta has weird names. Which of these are player placed and which of these are not? I don't know if that's player placed or not. I have no idea. I'm gonna assume it's not, because that's what the I mean that's the player placed one, because that's what the player placed one's named. See, I don't know all of the wall names in Tieta because Tieta uses... I think he just made up the names for stuff that he didn't know the name for. I have no idea. Maybe it'd be smarter to just do this... the conversion method. I don't know. I'll try breaking one and I'll see if they're player placed or not. Speaking of pizza, now I want pizza. Alright, let's see. It is player placed. That's unfortunate. I don't know if any of these can be converted. Stone ones. I guess stone wall itself. No. Maybe. Alright, let's see. Crimson. What kind of stone do you guys got for us here? Okay, so let's take worn stone wall. And let's hit this with a little bit of red contaminator. Oh, you do convert. Okay. Okay. So worn stone wall will work. And I've already got worn stone wall in there, so let's just completely mess up and step on the pressure plate that I forgot was there. Oy! See, this is why I have teed it up at all times. So I could just save it again and hop back in game. It's like my undo button. Maybe for the time being, I should put some blocks around that pressure plate so I don't accidentally step on it while not paying attention. Something that stands out. Safety. Safety. I think the same thing wants to happen with all of this. Don't want to accidentally break any of that. Pineapple on pizza. So, I have a slight allergy to pineapple. I can't eat too much of it, otherwise my throat starts to swell up a little bit. Not enough that it's a danger to me, but it gets very irritable and itchy and I'm coughing and stuff a lot. But that said, I do love the taste of it, and I do think it tastes quite good on pizza. Cancel me if you will. I'm at the mercy of chat today. Okay. Red solution. Let's go ahead and convert these. And then convert them back. Trying to be careful to not leave any crimson in here. We'll just go through and take a close look and make sure that we've got no crimson. Looking good. Again, that light you won't be able to see once I'm done with that area. You've got great taste in pizza. The pizza that I normally go to, just because I can't eat too much pineapple, is just cheese pizza. I do like Italian sausage as well. But there's something special about a Hawaiian pizza every now and then. I'll treat myself to it, have a slice or two, and then avoid pineapple for a while. Chaos tip of the day. Put blocks around the pressure plates. Safety first. I don't know. Vegemite on pizza. Ugh, I mean, I've never had Vegemite, but I've heard not great things about it. Even my Australian friends are like, yeah, eat it in very tiny amounts. Which, I mean, if it's that bad, that potent, why are you eating it at all? That's what I want to ask any of my Australian viewers. Why do you eat Vegemite? Yeah, it's like mostly salt, isn't it? Alright. Let's do some background wall stuff over here. Moving on from the pit for now. I'm happy enough with it for the time being. And we're going to stream for probably maybe another hour tops. I'm going to be due for a lunch break soon, and I got to get to work on videos because, let's face it, you guys need some videos. I need some videos. I was thinking about making this a 2-hour stream, but I spent so long working on this, I can't really justify a 2-hour stream. I feel like I need to go at least 2.5 hours at this point. But my stomach is a rumbling. What did I eat yesterday? I mean, I had toast and eggs for breakfast, and then skipped lunch like a dummy. And then dinner I had enchilada casserole leftovers. Today I'll be having a couple slices of pizza for lunch. Let's see. Stone wall. We're gonna grab craggy, worn, and fractured. And then we'll do a blend of these three. Maybe some ivy too. That might look good. With lime paint for that one. If I recall correctly, with ivy stone, if I paint the wall, yeah, it paints the vines lime, but doesn't really change the wall color itself all that much, which is nice. The pizza that I currently have is just a cheese pizza, so no pineapple on this one. Like I said, I have a slight allergic reaction to pineapple, so I really only treat myself to it a couple times a year, tops. It is my second favorite fruit, though, despite the reaction that I get to it. My favorite fruit, however, is mango. Mangoes are amazing. I love me a mango. Okay, so we're going to start off with the wall. Then we're going to add some block variety in here with the fractured wall. And then we're going to take these craggy stone walls and we're going to add them in places around the edge to add some variety to the outer edges. So the way this works, craggy stone walls have a very unique shape compared to the other stone walls. And they're much smaller and a little bit more jagged, which allows us to do a little bit more interesting wall variations on the outer edges. So we could have parts that are thinner and parts that are thicker. Like that, maybe. It's a subtle difference, but a difference nonetheless. And I think little subtle changes add up eventually. Except this right here is going to be the waterfall. So I actually want this one extended all the way out here. This side, however, could be left like that. If you guys want to see the true live video, use 2 times speed and make me sound like a chipmunk. I don't know how people can stand watching a video at 2 times speed. It just, I can't take them seriously. Not the people, the videos. I can't take videos seriously at that speed. I guess they call y'all Zoomers for a reason, right? I only say that because I don't know any millennial or Gen Xer that would do that. Everybody that I know that does that is a Zoomer. Correct me if you are indeed a Gen Xer or a millennial that watches videos at 2 times speed, and I'll say you're insane, but I'll admit that it's not just a Zoomer trait. Helps with your ADD. Yeah, I could see that. Although, could also help to have your hands preoccupied by something else in that time. Like a fidget spinner, even though they're not really popular anymore. Fidget clicker. A pen. That's a old school, like back when I was a kid, kids with ADD would use pens, just click them and drive the teachers mad. It was hilarious. Listen to this old millennial tell y'all youngins what it's like to be old. How am I doing on gray paint? I'm alright. I'm no longer alright on that paint. Gray pain. Too lazy to type the T, okay? Don't judge me. The nice thing about adding the wall variety is it not only looks good in game to break up the wall texture, but on the map it looks pretty interesting too. It's kind of subtle. It'll be more obvious when I add the craggy, like over here, but it adds more life to the map too. That's just a minor thing. Like, people aren't staring at the map all day long anyway. It's not like it's pixel art, but still, it's nice to have some variety in here. Your pain was always gray. Sounds like something from The Giver. Alright, waterfall here. There won't be waterfall here. So I could do this. And then a little bit more variety in here. See, look at that. Variety. The spice of life. There are 2 crimson blocks on the right in the small tunnel. I did not see them. I don't see what you could possibly be talking about. Like, I see dirt. But I don't see crimson blocks. In the small tunnel. This one. Ah, I see what you're talking about. I don't know if those are still there. I broke those manually on a previous save, and I might have just forgotten to go back and do them later. Alright, they are gone. Thank you for pointing that out. Have I thought about doing a face reveal? I nearly did on my last plushie sale. If I said if we hit the mark of 400 plushies, I would do a face reveal. We did not. I don't know. Face reveals, I know why people want that. It's intriguing. It's interesting. You want to get to know me better in a different way. I've actually had a couple people see my face in real life before. I mean, viewers of the channel. But those were extenuating circumstances and funny stories. But face reveal wise, I'm thinking about maybe someday after I've hit some personal goals of my own. Maybe. If I do a face reveal, I will only show my face during live streams. They won't be in videos. Alright, let's add water to this and determine where the waterfall will stop. What am I making? It just joined. I'm working on an adventure map in Terraria. Currently detailing a forest for a parkour area that players will be going through. but this adventure map is set in the constant world seed so that you will take damage whenever you're in shadows. And this is just the beginning area of the map. So like the starting town is over here. And then we started working on a forest over here, did some wireframe for the parkour, and I'm now converting it slowly into an actual forest. Beards and mustaches are cool. You only have a mustache. I do not look good in just a mustache, but I do have a beard. I have a full beard and a shaved head. Okay, so everything from here down will not be waterfall. Which means stone wall and a little bit of variety to it. And then all of this will be waterfall. I might add some more like pockets of stone to add some variety to it, because it's an awful large wall of water. But we'll see. We'll get to that. I used to have a goatee. My goatee was when I had a full head of hair and wasn't shaving my head, though. I was facetious with it because my parents are like, you can't grow a beard. So I grew a goatee just to spite them. And I was like, well, you didn't say I couldn't grow a goatee. Rebel child. Bouncy Bonbon, thank you so much for the $5.90. What class do you run the most? What weapon carries you the most furthest in said class? Have a good day. So I don't do Let's Plays very often, as you guys probably have guessed. So when I do Let's Plays, the classes that I used to run the most, I used to run Mage or Magic the most. But in Terraria, I played Ranger and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think next time we do Terraria, I might try Summoner, or maybe like a Summoner mix class of some sort. I don't know. I think it could be fun. As for what weapon carried me the most, I really don't know if I could say. I guess I made the most progress in one run with the Onyx Blaster before upgrading. Let me squish this stinky bot real quick. Bot be gone. Every day that bot shows up. Every day I ban them. I'm going to be adding actual waterfalls to this to give it more texture. So yes, there will be water that runs to the sides. Yeah, the bots are annoying. Let's see. Gonna need more sandstone here, because we're gonna add a little bit more rock to add some variety to the waterfall. Maybe like that. I don't think if I put one maybe here, I don't think that will change the parkour too much. I don't think that'll be a jump that they can make, right? No, they can. So maybe a little bit lower. Sarcasm not intended. Thank you for another $12.60. Some more moolah. What's been your favorite series to record for the channel so far? Thank you very much for the support. I really do appreciate it. And it does help out a lot. Favorite series to record by far has been Terraria. I had so much fun recording that, even though it didn't go on as long as I wanted. I had to take a break for personal reasons and all of that. I am looking forward to season 2. It's a lot of fun playing with friends and doing series with friends. You can get up this way, but by then you're already done with the puzzle anyway, so I don't see it as a big deal. Alright, so this will change the flow of the water here. But yeah, I would say that is my favorite series. It was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I've also enjoyed like my boss themed houses series. That was a very unique series for me and a lot of fun. What else? The Pylon series was quite fun for me too. There we go. That adds a little bit more variety to the waterfalls. So it's not one gigantic, I guess, wall of whatever. Maybe a little bit more right here. Oops, didn't mean to do that. That's okay, easily rectified. Terraria was awesome. Your girlfriend and you were excited whenever an episode came out. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that series, and I'm looking forward to doing season 2, having my life a little bit more together so that I can do it longer. Oh, let's make sure it's not so dark in here you take damage. So I'm going to need to light up this area because you will take damage in here. I don't want that to happen until you get to the Shadow Realm. So we'll have some lights in here. And it'll make sense. But before we get to that, what I want to do is try and make some waterfalls that are just pouring off the edges here. Make the edges look a little bit better. How much warnings are there? For darkness, as you can see here, when you go into total darkness, it's about 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. And then about 7 seconds in total before you start taking damage, I guess. It seems to happen a little bit faster if you recently came out of the dark. But you get a warning that it's very dark, you feel like you're in danger. And if you don't get out of the darkness within 3 seconds, I think, let's see. 1, 2, 3, hit. Yeah, about 3 seconds after that warning, then you'll die. So you have 3 seconds to get out, which should be plenty of time. Oh, no. I will not be using blue torches below the water or anything like that. I'm going to make the light look like it makes sense. I don't want a glowing waterfall for no reason. If I wanted a glowing waterfall, I'd probably do something like ultra bright living fire at the edge of the waterfall like this with white paint and just have that be like a splash effect. But I'd prefer to make the light make sense. So if I grab rich mahogany, brown paint, brown pane. And let's see, maybe sconce would look good. Or maybe one of the lanterns. I think one of these two are probably what I would go with. So we'll do... Let's put the helmet back on. We'll have like a wooden peg nailed into the wall, essentially, with that rich mahogany. So put one like there. And then we'll hang a light source off of it. And just make it look like they've hammered lights into the area. I think that would look good and make a little bit more sense than just having a glowing waterfall. There is a night vision potion, but that would not make sense to give the players, because if this is an adventure map where I want players to avoid the shadows, I don't want to give them things that will make them produce light. We could also have some just hanging from various rocks like this as well. That should be good enough. So let's get rid of this and make sure there's nowhere in here that gets that dark. This might be the only corner, but I don't think it will be. Yeah, it's light enough that I won't take any damage here. Like I said, the reason I don't want to do white painted fire at the bottom is because I don't want a glowing waterfall for no reason. I like to give reasons for light to be there and not just have light for the sake of light. Everybody will have a lucky horseshoe in this map. Fall damage won't be a part of the map at all. It's not a concern. Okay, they can make this jump, which I don't... You know what? I don't necessarily hate it either, because that's not necessarily the easiest jump in the world. And you know what? We'll give them multiple ways of getting across. Why not? People can have multiple ways of getting over there. That one won't work, but this one will. That one's a bit of a harder jump. This one's a bit of an easier path. I'm okay with this. Multiple paths? Why not? Alright, so for water, let's grab Echo. We already have a water bucket. Let's also grab smoke block and a negative paint. So I'm still going to have a splash effect. It's just not going to be glowing. And that's going to be by having the smoke block down here that's been painted with negative paint. It'll give the same effect without making it glow. Terraria parkour is something you don't see too often because parkour in Terraria is a little bit harder than other games. Games that are designed for parkour, the way that they work, I can't zoom in much further than this and show you, but when you step off of a platform or a block or whatever surface you're on in those parkour games, if you jump within 1 or 2 frames after that, you will still jump. But in Terraria, if you are off of a block, it doesn't matter if it's the exact same frame that you leave the block. If you press that space bar, you will never jump. So parkour games are a little bit more forgiving with their jumping than Terraria, allowing you to get closer to the edge and jump off and have it feel a little bit more realistic. Terraria, you have to be like pixel perfect on your jumps to jump off of an edge. Okay, so let's grab the water and try some things like, I don't know, Let's put the goggles on so we can see. I don't really need that negative painted. If I'm going to do that, then this will be there. Hammered, and put some water in there. A little bit more. A little bit more. So now we got some flowing water there. Let me get rid of that. I mean, I think that looks decent. And we could do that anywhere that water lands. So let's do a block here and there. A little bit of water here, probably 2 of them. Not liking that as much because of that. So let's see. Sponge. I'd like this to be at the edges of the waterfall, not in the middle of it. So what we're going to do is get rid of this water for now. Move this block into there. Full block there, half block there. And do that. Do the same thing right here. Eh? My bad. There. Looking good. That's already hitting there, so I don't need to do one on that one. Now for these individual pieces here, I could have a series of water up here, but I don't know if it's going to look particularly fantastic. That's just a flat out miss. Let's get rid of that. I'm not sure how I feel about this one, because it looks like water is just randomly shooting out the sides for no reason right there. I'll think about it. I am going to put smoke blocks where the water collides. I'm doing one thing at a time. One thing. Poor Nightbot's just doing its job. Nightbot's a little overzealous sometimes. But it's helpful when I don't have any moderators present. I don't think I have any moderators here today. I haven't seen any. Which is fine. I'm not saying anything negative towards that. They are working on a volunteer basis out of the kindness of their hearts, and I appreciate it very much. I think I'm not going to do this one. Nightbot, I don't think it can ban anybody. I think I'm the only one that has permission to do that. They can time you out, however. Chat is very chill. Huge success. It's cool, but small, medium communities are nicer to be in. Yeah, I definitely feel similar about smaller communities over larger communities. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to have a very large channel and a lot more people and more people to engage with and hang out with, and that's all fine and dandy. But yeah, there are definite benefits to smaller communities as well. Hello, Raven. Yeah, we're at 250 out of the 1,000. Thank you, everybody who has donated so far. I really do appreciate it. If chat goes by so fast, I can't read it. I mean, I miss a lot of things anyway, because building takes a lot of focus in general. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I read everything anyway. I know I don't. I'd like to, but it's just not realistic. I do read what I can. But yeah, when chat's flying by lightning fast, I certainly miss a lot more. This is what I'm going to be doing right now is just going to be temporary. Because this map, there's no way that I finish this before 1.4.4 drops. So with that in mind, I will be able to hopefully do something like this and hide those machines away. That makes the water stand out like crazy. Why is that? Alright, I won't do that at the top, but I will do that at the bottom. That is unfortunate right here. So the water itself, and then like when water's in an area, I can't really give you an example in there. Let me give you an example up here. When water's in an area that has slopes, it looks like there's water there, but there's really not. So it's completely blue in here, right? But that's just artificially drawn in. The unfortunate part is apparently the fog interacts with the water and with the drawn in fake water differently. So waterlogging isn't a thing in Terraria. You can't waterlog a block. Like I can't put water in that block. What I could do is put the fog machines higher up, though. And hopefully avoid that issue like this. Yeah. I'm okay with that. That's a decent enough solution for me. So those fog machines will eventually be invisible. And these will be invisible. So you can kind of see what this waterfall is going to look like in the end. Obviously, you got the fog machines right now that you could see, which it is what it is, right? You know, I kind of don't want players coming up here anymore because of that. And when they walk here, they're going to collide with these. I can't hammer bubble. If I could hammer bubble, that would be the perfect solution because players could walk through it and it would hold the water back and still create a waterfall. But if I remember correctly, bubble cannot be hammered. No. That would have been a perfect solution to it. No, it can't. I just tested it. Don't tell me it can. I might be able to force it in T-Edit, but I don't know if it'll create a waterfall. We could try it. You could force a lot of things in T-Edit. Let's see. I'll put one here. Let's go ahead and save and exit. Let's swap on over to T-Edit. Let's reload this world. And let's force this into a hammered state. Like that. And then let's see if that actually forces it into a hammered state or not. T-edit is also good for breaking the game like that in various different ways. I love this mount. This mount is so good. Oh, it does. Okay, so that's what I'll do then. Everywhere that we have echo block in here, I'll switch it out for bubble, force it to hammer with T-edit, and then we'll echo code it once we get the opportunity. It's wild to you that hammered bubble looks so normal, even though it should be. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you can't hammer not just bubble, but like the living fire and the chimney block and stuff. All of these could have very unique applications if you could actually hammer them. Okay, so here's the weird thing. I thought they fixed this, but they didn't. You could technically hammer smoke block, as you can see here. However, you can't. So if I hammer those and I save and exit and I go back in game, it's absolutely a bug. There's no doubt around it. Like, this is a bug. But wait. Wait. This didn't used to happen. In 1.3, if you hammered smoke block and you logged out and you logged back in, it would unhammer itself. So in 1.4, they changed it so that you can hammer it and it stays hammered. In which case, why can we not hammer bubble or any of the living fire blocks? Like in 1.3, you could hammer chimney and then it would unhammer itself when you load and reload. So I had assumed that they just got, I mean, I never assumed that they would change it to this. Let me try like various different hammered shapes to make sure this is actually a thing, because my mind is blown right now. And it's making me question why they can't just let us hammer all of those blocks. They did it just to annoy me. That wouldn't be the first time. It does. It keeps all of its shapes. It didn't used to do that. It didn't do that in 1.3. Interesting. Well, now I'm disappointed that you can't do it with bubble and you can't do it with living fire, because those would look quite interesting. Too bad no more 1.4.4 suggestions. Yeah, although, like Red was saying in a tweet earlier that they want to have a seed competition in the development team for the next update, which means there's going to be a next update. So when they do that, maybe I'll make a request to them that you could actually hammer all of these blocks, because it would have a lot of utility. What type of seed do I use for the forest ground? I just use grass, like normal grass. I'll just grab the staff of regrowth and I'll just, you know, boop, 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 boop. Nothing fancy. "10 years in the future, Terraria, the final update." I actually made a joke like that to Red yesterday when he tweeted that we're not going to make a Terraria 1.5. We're just going to make we're just going to add 0.4 from here on out. So it'll be Terraria 1.4.4.4.4. And so I made a joke on Twitter. I'm like, Terraria, the final 0.4 update. Alright, thank you for that suggestion for forcing the bubble to be hammered. That's a good one. I'm going to go ahead and do it now, and we could just echo coat them later once the update comes out. That allows a lot more movability here. It doesn't impact our movement. These things, how I think I'm going to do it, instead of having echo blocks here, which players can land on top of, I'm going to teleporter glitch them into the air. So let's go ahead and do that now. Teleporters, fog machines, and we'll just stack these up and then put a fog machine down and break that, and there we go. Now we have a floating fog machine. Speaking is hard. I love the teleporter glitch. I hope they never fix that. Okay, so let's save this, switch over to T-Edit, and switch those out for bubble. Let's reopen the world since I've made some changes. Bubble. Oh, no. And I want all of these to be half breaks. I just want bubble. I think that's it, right? That is it. Save and switch back over to Terraria. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Yeah, they tend to say that with a lot of their the bugs they don't want to fix. Hey, I'm not complaining. Hoiking, I can't imagine Terraria without hoiking. It's so good. Another reason why Terraria is vastly superior than Minecraft is because of a bug. Okay, I'm happy with this waterfall, I think. I'm not sure if there's much I would change to it. Oh, maybe actually. Let's grab that bubble again. If I put water on top of this, and then I guess it'd have to be fairly thick like that. And then I have sections of it where I have like a... Oh, I can't place a bubble in water. Okay, let's do this the smart way. And bubble first, water second. I'm trying to think of a way that I could get a couple more streams. I'd like to have one coming out right here, which would mean shaving that down, which is not a big deal. Gray paint, sand. I'd like to have a waterfall coming out here, a waterfall coming out here. No. Here. It's doing it again. I can't select the paints. That's a weird bug I've never experienced before. And a waterfall coming out here, and a waterfall coming out there. Let's see if I can make this work. How to hoik? That is... Well, I mean, considering I'm ending this stream very soon, that will be a discussion for another time, I think. We could talk about hoiking in the next stream if somebody reminds me and brings it up. But it would take a long time to explain how hoiking works in this stream, considering we're nearly done for the day. But let's work through this real quick and see what I can come up with. So if we have that there, same on those ones, and here, and here. It's a little inconsistent with the splash, but I think that'll be okay in the end. Let's fill this up with some water. And then we're going to go down here and drain some of this water out because we've been filling up an awful lot. Fog machine broke because I updated the tiles next to it. That's not a big deal. We'll just teleporter glitch and add that right back to where it was. Now let's save and exit, hop over to T-Edit, and hammer those bubbles real quick. Open Magnophobia. Short form. Slopes push the player if you're inside of them. If they push you into another slope, that one pushes you too. Yeah, it has to do with the mechanic that they added in 1.2 for walking up and down blocks and how you walk up a slope. In order to get you up a slope, the slope actually actively pushes you out of it. And because of that, hoiking is possible. It's kind of complicated, and how it works is a little complicated as well. I'd be happy to get into it, but not in this stream. Next time, for sure. That's a broad topic. Alright, so we've saved that back into Terraria. Let's see how it looks. Knock on wood, but see how the UI hasn't rescaled itself again, despite me doing the same things over and over again. It's only done it twice. I don't know why it seems to be at random. Oh yeah, Zero Gravitas is... I think he was the person that discovered Hoik in the first place, and he is the go-to expert on that mechanic. Definitely worth checking his videos out. I don't know if he was the person that discovered it or not, but if he was, then absolutely check him out. But even if he wasn't, check his channel out anyway, because he's described or explained it better than anybody else I've ever seen. I like this. So all of these bubbles will be invisible in the end. Those fog machines will be invisible in the end. Now we have some water pouring off that I rather like. Might just get rid of these. Is there a block I wish I could use more? If it's a block that that already exists, and I want to use it, I'm probably going to use it. I'm not sure if there's one that exists that I would use more that I don't already use. Let's see. Because the framing of that question implies that I can't use it as much as I would like. So I'm trying to think of a block that would fall into that category and why it would. I'm sure there are some, but off the top of my head, I don't know. Just randomly found this stream? Well, welcome, welcome. Although the stream is coming to a close, unfortunately. It's a little bit of a unfortunate timing. But I do appreciate you showing up nonetheless. I'm just doing some last second details here while thinking of an answer to an interesting question that I hadn't considered before. I honestly don't know if there are any blocks that I would say fall into that category. You know, I don't think I'm going to add the splash because the stream waterfall is in front of it and the background wall is behind it and it stands out too much. In places that I'd want to add the splash, I already have these bubbles, which take away from that. So I don't think I'm going to add the splash. I'd say if there's one block that I would like to use more that I don't use that much because of quirkiness to it. I'd probably say sandstone slab because it blends with too many things. And it looks nice when painted white. It's like a very nice white brick appearance. But the way that it blends, I almost never use it. I'd like if it was kind of like the stone accent slab and blended with very few things. Or if there was a sandstone accent slab version of it. So yeah, I think that would probably be my block of choice that I would like to use more, but I don't because of the blending. All right, I'm happy with this. Again, the bubbles will be invisible eventually. The fog machines will be invisible as well. The waterfalls come together nicely. The pitfall has come together nicely. I still need to work on this area. And we still have a lot of detail work over on this side of the forest to do. We will continue that tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time. For now, though, I want to thank you all very much for watching and hanging out with me for the past 2.5 hours or so. A little bit longer than that, 2 hours, 40 minutes or so. But thank you to everybody that's also donated to help me pay my rent and bills. I really do appreciate that. And for all of the feedback and ideas you guys have given me, I really, really do thank you all for these feedback and input, because this map is a lot better than it would be if I just built it on my own in secret without talking to anybody. You guys have definitely helped me improve it, so thank you very much. I hope to see you all tomorrow in the live stream. Until then, y'all have a fantastic day.